Have you ever wished you could know what the future held before you got there? What if you were given the gift of knowledge before you even began your journey? Now, I've been thinking about that because I made a lot of stupid mistakes when I was younger. And I wish I had someone to say, don't go down that road, go down this one. I'm Sherry, and welcome to From the Eyes of Wisdom, where we are pairing an experienced elder from Christa Senior Living with a passionate King's High School student ready to launch into the world. And while these conversations won't tell the future exactly, they did reveal a lot we weren't expecting about how to live life well. Are you ready? I can't wait for you to hear this. All right, everybody, time for another episode of Through the Eyes of Wisdom. So glad to be here. And today we have Beth with us, and we also have Moriah with us. Thank you for joining us. Yes. All right, so we're talking today about something that's actually very near and dear to my heart, music and performing arts, which I love both. So I'm very excited to have you guys here with us. And we're just going to talk about that. And Beth, your very wonderful life in music. And Moriah, your interest in performing arts. And just get some wisdom from Beth and questions from Moriah. And just your interest and what you have in common and all of that. We're going to talk about it, okay? Beth, talk about your mom and music and hymns and how that got you involved in music.
Wow, all of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. Because my mom was a pianist and had been a Christian since high school. And then she had studied piano as a young woman and then continued playing. And so she was currently, at the time I was little, like up under age 7.
Yeah.
She was the pianist for the church that she and my dad attended. Okay. My mom wanted me to learn how to play the piano. So she started teaching me probably from about age 5 or 6. But then she knew that I should study with another more professional teacher outside of her influence. Okay. And so she got me started when I was 7 years old. Wow. But she also made it a point to request the teacher to help me learn to play hymns. Okay. So from that early time, I was, said, well, let's use our skills to honor the Lord. Yeah. And be able to serve in the church in some way. So.
Okay, so that's Beth and her mom, right? Yeah. Tell me about you and your family, youngest age of thinking about music and performing, and this is just what we love and what we do. Yeah. What do you remember?
Well, what I remember is, my family, both my parents did Young Life, and so they were on specifically the program teams, so all the skits and things. Yeah. And my mom and dad would do like a duo thing, so they would be ones running it. And so I kind of always had that like performing like gene in me. Yeah. And specifically music was more my dad, his granddad, who really inspired him for music. Like kind of brought him into that music world and then brought me into the music world. So a lot of singing growing up was singing like country songs with my dad in the car and a lot of worship music as well. That's kind of in general that's the way I like communicate with God and like connect with Jesus is worship. I always have music playing in my car. I love dancing to music. Like some of my favorite moments growing up was dancing in the kitchen with my dad, just while we're making food. So it's always just intermixed in my life in different important ways.
What is it about music that connects us so much that it makes it such a deep, rich experience? For you and your mom to have that, for you and your dad to have that. What is it? Why does it connect us so much? What do you think? Either of you? I don't know why. Yeah. It does. It's in my family. It does.
Yeah. Music is meant to be shared. It's something that comes out as sound, but it's organized sound, and hopefully it's pleasant sound. Yeah. Or it can be anyway. Yeah. And I think that's part of it, that it invites collaboration.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I prayed when I moved here to Crestwood Park was that I would find people that I could be collaborating with in music. And I really love playing piano duets. My mom and I used to do that. Oh, yeah. And I've had a good time finding people along the way since I've been here. Opportunity to do some concerts down at Christwood Park with another person and as a piano duet.
Yeah.
And so that collaboration is I think, really special.
It is. Yeah. It is. What do you think? Why do we connect so deeply with it?
I think, it's a beautiful art form. It's truly like an art form. And I think whether it's the lyrics or the music, like the notes itself, like it just evokes kind of an emotional like reaction for you. And it can make you sad, like it connect with mourning, or it can make you really happy. And the different notes that correspond with it can evoke emotion as well. And I think that it's very particular to each song. And both in worship music, just like those slower songs where it's just like you feel like it's more of that feeling, like it's slower and it's just you're really just feeling the presence of God. And in the the happier ones, it's just evoking that emotion that just makes you like feel a certain way and connect with both everything you're hearing.
You have the collaboration, right? And then you have the emotion, and so that if we're collaborating together, then when the emotion comes, we both felt that together.
Exactly.
Right? And so then it's like we had a shared emotional experience.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me because theater is one of my favorite things in the world. And why I love it is because of collaboration. It's because this thing doesn't work if we all don't work together.
Exactly.
Right? So you can be fantastic at what you do. Congratulations. But you better be good, or nobody cares how good you are, because if you're horrible, we will all go down in flames. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that collaboration and then us feeling emotion together is something that it unites. Tell me about hymns a little bit. Like I love hymns. Spam. Like if I could, I just love hymns. So what do you think? Because I think we're losing them a little bit. I don't want to sound curmudgeon-y. Like, I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, this newfangled worship music. Take me back to the hymns. I'm not being that person. There is something special about hymns.
100%.
What is it? Those songs, I mean, I remember my mother playing them. She still does. Or my grandmother. What is it? Those songs that I don't know. What?
Well, a lot of those were carefully thought through in terms of the words for them. Interestingly, a number of hymns like Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, or the tune came from classical music, Beethoven, Bach, Brahms. Some of those tunes by famous composers were kind of borrowed by people in the church to say, that's a really good melody. We're going to put these words to it. A lot of people had heard the tune, and so they would continue to sing it.
Yeah.
One of the things that interested me in going to live in another country, and particularly an Asian country, was becoming aware of a different style of music and realizing that sometimes our hymns, if we take the hymns that we're familiar with in the United States, and we think, well, everybody should sing those. You take them wherever you go in the world, and you think, well, this is how we sing to the Lord. And one of the things that I really like to see promoted is the development of hymnody in each culture.
Hymnody?
The concept of creating hymns. That people be encouraged to sing.
Yeah.
And there is a couple, the Gettys, that live in Ireland over the last, 30 years, I would guess. Keith and Kristen Getty have been writing a new style of hymns. Maybe you're familiar with some of those. But we've incorporated a number of them into the church here in the United States. But I'm just thinking that's wonderful that it's a newer style, comfortable, easy to sing. But we honor people in different cultures for what they have to bring.
Yeah. So you have traveled, Beth. Tell me about your traveling and your carrying this love of music, this understanding of music, this studying of music, going to other countries. something that Moriah should be looking for or eyes open, ears open, thinking about?
Well, I think what I'm thinking back to was the very first mission trip that I went on when I was a student. And I lived in Southern California, but we then went into northern Mexico and just across the border. We were expecting to sing in Spanish.
Okay.
And I loved that. I was excited about that. And so as we went, we learned some of the choruses in Spanish, and we learned not American music, but we learned some Latin American worship music. And to me, that was exciting to realize, oh, yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
But they're worshiping God, and we can learn from that. And to me, it was just an expanding of a horizon. And of course, as a musician, that's great. You learn something new in music, and you kind of take it in and do more with that.
I love that idea of what can I learn?
Yeah.
I can learn something from this. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. What can I learn from this?
Thank you. I'm glad you see that in it. What can I learn from you?
Yes. So, that's good.
But the learning attitude takes you into all kinds of adventures.
So one of the things you talked about, Beth, in your pre-interview that I thought was so interesting, and I really wanted Moriah to get this because being a creative myself, I was like, yep, I understand that. Is that you were talking about you're in college. I think originally you were thinking about a career in music, or as a were you thinking about doing becoming someone's musician or a church musician or something like that?
Looking for that.
Yeah, possibly. The love and the passion you have for it doesn't always translate to a career. Yes, but that doesn't necessarily have to. And it shouldn't, that doesn't necessarily have to put out the fire of the passion. And it seemed like in your life, you did other things, but the passion for the music was still there. So can you talk about, you met your husband in seminary, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, talk a little bit about that and then what the two of you began to do.
Well, I was interested in music in a cross-cultural setting, just trying to think about what that would mean elsewhere.
Yeah.
And really had an interest in ministry in another culture, and I didn't know where that might be. And so in going to seminary, I felt this was good training for whatever I might do in the future, and went to a seminary seniors conference back in Wisconsin, where there were seniors from seminaries all over the U.S. My husband was from Pasadena, from Fuller Seminary, and I was from a different seminary in Southern California, but we enjoyed chatting together and talking and got better acquainted. And then when we came back to Southern California to finish our schooling, it wasn't that far away that I was able to, we were able to visit and got better acquainted.
You guys get married, and then what? You go on an adventure together, or?
Well, we certainly did, yes, because he'd become a Christian, through somebody within Campus Crusade that had come and served on his campus where he was studying, and through that also became interested in Japan and had gone to visit the person who had developed the ministry, the Japanese man. And Bob really did want to go back to Japan. And so I thought, well, that's interesting. And I hadn't thought about Japan before, but as we talked about it and prayed about it, I thought, all right, this is a good direction for us to go. We were involved in campus ministry there, but I quickly got involved and was interested in just what was happening in music and what were people singing in the church and how could we do that. So
you go there. How do you begin to learn what the music is? How do you just sit and listen?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we chose to do.
Okay.
We felt that would be important.
Yeah.
The church will be involved in the local church here. We were there to learn and to just get along and understand how they worshiped. And so that for me, that was really interesting because some of the tunes that they sang were ones that they learned from, Westerners.
Yeah.
And those were affordable. They had Japanese words to them. But then there were new kinds of music, new text and new music and new style. So it was good to me. I just enjoyed learning that very much.
Yeah.
Appreciated. Yeah.
And so tell me about there was a book that you created. What was that when you were there?
Well, one of the things that I was particularly interested in was training church musicians.
Okay.
And how do we do that?
Yeah.
And help them. And one of the things I liked to do was arrange hymns. I'd take a hymn tune, but then I'd change the chords or add a different little rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Whatever else.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, how can I encourage my students? And so I ended up for 10 years teaching in a Bible school in Tokyo. And so my students all had to learn to play the piano as they came through this Bible school program.
Wow.
But then I would, work with them in the hymnal and then encourage them to make up and try to show them how this is how you change around, the tune or add notes here or there or put some different chords. And so that's what happened was that I then, and you won't be able to read very much on here. You might be able to find my name in English somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But it was just how to do piano arranging.
Wow.
It was just giving them ideas.
And it was for your students.
For my students.
So the opportunity is there.
The opportunity is there.
And that creates the passion to create.
And then the passion to what,
I love that.
What kind of, what's needed.
Yeah.
Is it just being the example and teaching, or is there, there wasn't anything like this available to use, where, if you took basic piano lessons or whatever, there were all kinds of systems out there. You could go to the bookstore and start buying books here, there, and yon about how do you learn how to play.
Yeah.
But in Japan, there wasn't anything like this available for church musicians.
So it's more like, what's the need, and how can I be an answer to that need? How can I? Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. How can I be an answer?
And I think that.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what you think about that.
I think that is so creative that you just were like, okay, so there's a need, and I'm going to fill that need. That is wonderful, and you've touched so many kids' lives with just this book, and I think that's absolutely amazing. That's the reason why I like to do what I do, which is performing arts and theater, is the fact that I'm able to touch people's lives even for 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, just give them that joy and have them just have a fun afternoon. It's what makes me just love what I do so much.
Oh yeah, you sense, don't you, the emotional connection?
Yes. Yeah.
When you're providing that moment of joy.
Yes.
Or of emotion, it can be full of pathos and concern or anxiety or whatever that is in what you're singing.
Yes.
But it draws on from the listener.
100%.
And for them to learn. But then they remember that. And that's another part.
Yes.
I think especially when in performing arts, that those memories, we think back on when we've gone to different kinds of concerts or whom we've heard sing. That's in there. That's a clip in the memory, in the brain that'll come back, and they can remember.
Yeah.
Oh, once I heard this. Sing and loved what she sang and the way she sang it, and just your whole attitude in singing.
Yeah, it truly gives me so much joy when people even months, I see someone just randomly and they're like, oh my gosh, you did amazing in, for example, I did Mary Poppins last spring. Oh my gosh, it was...
Oh, that's where I would have seen you then.
Yeah. Yes, you came to that? Yes.
I came to that. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I sang, I was the bird woman. I sang Feed the Birds.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I love that song.
Oh my, thank you so much.
So you and your husband have this life in Japan. How long were you there?
A total of 20 years, although we spent some additional years in the U.S. training other people. My husband came back and studied at Fuller Seminary and then got involved in an actual group that worked with establishing a Church Growth Institute in Japan. And so he was involved quite a lot with that.
How many children did you have?
We have two. We
have children.
We have a son and a daughter.
And did you? I'm guessing you had them over there when you were...
Our son was 6 months old when we first went. Amazingly, and this is God's provision for us, the first home that we had in central Tokyo, where homes are tiny and close together, the people that lived next door to us was a Japanese family, but they had just come back from spending 6 months in Los Angeles. And so they spoke a little English.
Okay.
which was perfect because I didn't speak any Japanese yet.
Yeah.
And so we got to know each other. And then they had a little boy who was close in age to my son.
Oh my gosh.
And so those little boys could kind of
look at that.
No,
the provision.
The Lord's provision is
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Why
Actually,
do we ever doubt it?
my name means the Lord will provide. It's from the story of Abraham and Isaac, the land of Moriah.
Oh, okay.
So that was the reasoning of my name. It's just like, my parents couldn't have kids for 7 years, and I was kind of a miracle baby, and my parents didn't even have Moriah on the table, and the Lord spoke to my dad very clearly, like on a kayaking trip, and the Lord just speaks to him so clearly that my name should be Moriah because of its meaning. So. Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
It's
yeah. And how many siblings do you have?
I am also the oldest. I have 2 younger siblings. My brother is a freshman here at King's, and my sister is in 6th grade at a school called Villa Academy over in Laurelhurst area, where I used to live.
Okay. All right. And so you and your husband were married how long?
56 years. He passed away a year and a half ago.
I'm sorry. So 56 years. Okay. And you stayed 20 years in Japan, and then you came back here, and you were where? We were in
Southern California until about 20. We moved up here about 20 years ago.
Okay.
Crestwood Park.
Yeah.
And then you had some trauma in your life. Whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
Yes, I'm very open to talk about anything.
Okay.
I lost my mom. Let's see. It's, May of 2020, so that was almost 3 years ago. And, we actually came to King. It was all during COVID, which honestly was a blessing in disguise because I didn't have to go back to school after it happened, which was pretty nice. And then we actually came to King's. I was originally set to go to Roosevelt in the university area. That's where I live in the U District. Oh, okay. I was set to go there, and then some of our very close friends were like, hey, maybe you should check out King's, because my dad was a single dad, just getting that support of a small Christian school. And I didn't want to come to a small school again. I had a horrible experience coming to a small school because I couldn't make any friends. And so, but we came to King's, and it has been the most amazing blessing. I absolutely love it here.
Good.
And I have a lot of amazing friends. So
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes.
So you asked a question in your pre-interview. They asked you, what would you ask, Beth? And you asked a question that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines of how music and your faith helped you through loss, something like that.
Yeah. I think, I was, kind of asking, like, how you used music through different points in your life, whether through loss or through happiness. Like, how you use music to, like, express your feeling or how you process. Because I use music a lot to process.
Right. Oh, that's a really good question, because that happens, too, very much. Because, my mom was... so instrumental in getting me going in music. And so at the point of her home going to heaven, I just was thinking, what do we celebrate, and remembering the special songs that she liked. But I think especially the more poignant loss has been for my husband's leaving 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half, 2 years ago. He didn't feel like he had a good singing voice, but he loved music.
That was my mom.
I use music in thinking back and being grateful, for his life and life that we shared together. And I know that I'll continue to do that. And I think music has a really important part in bringing healing.
100%.
Yeah, I remember my grandmother was a very, 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 very musical person. And I didn't think I realized how musical she was, or how good she was at it, or how I didn't know her that way. I'll put it that way. Until there was a very popular photographer of her day who had his work on display in a museum. And when we went, someone was sending me all the different prints and stuff, like copies of the prints, and my grandma was all over. And so that means it was a thing to get her picture.
Oh my God.
And it was all of her different like plays and her musicals and her stuff. So I guess I didn't understand like how popular she was, but I just remember her homegoing service really feeling what you said, which is, they're with Jesus, you're hurting, but you want to celebrate. And music is that thing. It goes back to what we started talking about. It's that thing that ties it together.
Yeah.
That both allows you to mourn and celebrate.
100%.
I just don't know.
There you go.
Yeah,
It
right?
just seems like an odd combination, but it's true.
But,
yeah.
It's a kind of a gamut. I mean, very, very distinct experiences, but certainly part of the whole.
Isn't it amazing how God loves us?
Yeah.
That's I think music is one of those things that's like he must really love us to give us that, right?
Yeah.
That we get to experience that, and then you get to play because you still play the organ. Am I right? Did I hear that right?
You did. I'm still the organist at the church that I've been a part of almost 20 years.
Yeah. Ladies, this has been wonderful. I love talking about music and talking about its effects on us and what God allows us to create and what he allows us to enjoy. I hope you've gotten some wonderful wisdom from Beth.
Yes.
And
it's fun to collaborate and to share each other's expression and experience.
Yeah.
And passion.
And joy.
Yes.
That's what's fun. I mean, it's delightful to see younger generation. Yes, you've caught the bug, the music bug, and you enjoy and the performing and see that in a positive way, not in a self-focused way,
right?
But of the joy that it brings other people.
Yeah.
And,
she's already written some stuff down, but I'm going to put you on the spot and say she's going to carry that card with her through her life. I believe it. She's going to have it when she's 25, 35, 40. She's remember this card that Beth gave me this wisdom, right?
Yes. No, it's amazing.
If there's one thing that you could impart to her, one word of wisdom, one thing, Moriah, if you don't remember anything, remember this. What would it be?
I think it is do all to glorify God. That what we do, we want to honor God with it. And that's, if we prayed about it or sought wisdom or have enthusiasm for people's lives to change because of what we're doing, that does it.
Yes.
I love
Thank
that.
you so much, Beth.
And if I can piggyback off that, specifically in this kind of arena, when you do things that get you, just by virtue of what you do, applause, that's going to be very important. Because if you're not doing that applause will get in here and it... It has the possibility to do that.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
And distract.
Yes.
And then your reason is just to pump up yourself rather than to, introduce God's love. Or help people find Jesus.
And it happens quick, and it can happen quickly, and you almost don't even know it. So that is, for what you want to do, what she just said is probably one of the greatest pieces of advice you will. It seems simple, but it's probably one of the greatest pieces of advice you will ever get. And if I were you, I'd get that printed in all different.
Oh, it's in her Bible.
Yeah, get it big, put it all over the walls and everywhere. Put it in your dressing room, wherever you are, and remind yourself, he gets the glory, not me. He gets the glory. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in once again, and we'll see you next time, unless this is the last one. And if it's the last one, we'll never see you again.
Till next season.
Till the next season.
Yes.
Through the eyes of wisdom. Thank you all.